Have you ever paused and wondered, is it still natural to crave intimacy at this stage of life? Or found yourself quietly asking, how often should we really be making love in our later years? You're not alone. For many older adults, intimacy becomes more than just a physical act. It's a way to feel connected, alive, and deeply seen. But with changing bodies, shifting routines, and a world that rarely speaks honestly about love after 60, it's easy to feel unsure. Are we doing enough? Too little? Does frequency even matter anymore? Today, we're diving into what science actually reveals about sex and aging, and you might be surprised by what we uncover. From health benefits to emotional well-being, and even how intimacy evolves with time, this isn't just about how often, it's about what truly matters most. And toward the end, I'll share a little-known insight that could completely shift how you think about closeness, desire, and love in your golden years. So if you've ever wondered what's normal, what's possible, or what's still ahead, stay with me. This conversation might just open a new door in your heart. Number 1, the importance of intimacy in later years. Let's begin with a truth that society doesn't say out loud nearly enough. Intimacy doesn't retire when we do. It doesn't vanish with gray hair or wrinkle with time. In fact, for many, it becomes even more meaningful. But too often, people over 60 are led to believe that their desire for closeness, both emotional and physical, is something to suppress or be ashamed of. That's simply not true. So let's talk about the question many silently carry. How often should older people be having sex? Weekly? Monthly? Only when the stars align? The answer isn't as rigid as some might think, because what really matters is why it's happening, not how often. Science is clear. Maintaining an intimate connection as we age contributes to better heart health, improved sleep, lower stress, and even sharper brain function. It boosts self-esteem and strengthens emotional bonds. And no, it's not just about sex. It's about the joy of touch, the comfort of closeness, the quiet thrill of still being desired and known deeply by someone. We need to let go of outdated beliefs that intimacy after 60 is unnecessary or inappropriate. In fact, many couples find this chapter to be their most fulfilling. There's less pressure, more honesty, and a deeper appreciation for the small gestures. Holding hands in bed, soft kisses on the shoulder, conversations that last deep into the night. So whether intimacy happens once a week, once a month, or just whenever it feels right, the goal isn't frequency, it's connection. It's about listening to your body, your heart, and your partner. This stage of life isn't about fading away. It's about leaning in to each other, to ourselves, and to the kind of love that deepens with time. And that truly is beautiful. Number 2, physical benefits of sex in older age. Let's take a moment to appreciate something often overlooked, just how profoundly physical intimacy can nourish the body, especially in our later years. Sex isn't just an emotional experience. It's also a gentle form of movement that engages the heart, the lungs, and even the muscles. In fact, researchers have found that regular sexual activity supports cardiovascular health by increasing heart rate and promoting better blood flow. While it won't replace your morning walk or stretch routine, it certainly contributes to overall vitality. But that's only the beginning. Intimacy naturally encourages the release of endorphins, those powerful, mood-lifting chemicals that ease pain, melt away stress, and bring about that lovely post-connection glow. In a world where medications and appointments seem to multiply with age, it's a relief to know that pleasure itself can be part of our well-being toolkit. And then there's sleep. Many older adults quietly struggle with restless nights, frequent waking, or racing thoughts at bedtime. But intimate connection, be it sexual or simply shared closeness, stimulates oxytocin, a hormone that promotes calm, trust, and deep relaxation. A warm touch, a gentle embrace, the steady rhythm of another's breathing beside you. These small, powerful experiences can soothe the mind and body like no pill ever could. So if you find joy in touch, if your body still stirs with curiosity and tenderness, let that be enough reason to stay connected. You're not just sharing a moment, you're strengthening your heart, softening your stress, and giving your body a reason to rest deeply. What a beautiful, life-affirming gift to carry into this season of life. Number 3, mental and emotional benefits. There's a quiet truth that often goes unspoken as we grow older. The longing to feel seen, touched, and deeply connected never fades. In fact, intimacy in later years doesn't just warm the body, it heals the heart and clears the mind. Science backs this up. Older adults who remain sexually active often report lower rates of depression and anxiety. But beyond the numbers lies something far more human. When we feel desired, when someone reaches for our hand, not out of habit but out of longing, it reminds us we're still here, still vibrant, still worthy of love and attention. And it goes deeper than emotion. Believe it or not, intimacy actually stimulates parts of the brain linked to memory and focus. Some researchers have even found connections between physical closeness and a reduced risk of cognitive decline. It's as if the act of loving and being loved keeps certain lights in the mind turned on, sharper, steadier, more resilient. That spark you feel in a moment of closeness? It's not just chemistry, it's your brain coming alive. But perhaps most beautiful of all is the emotional bond that deepens through intimacy. It's more than romance. It's the comfort of knowing someone chooses you day after day. That soft reminder, you matter. Especially in a stage of life where many begin to feel invisible, this kind of closeness becomes a quiet, powerful medicine for the soul. When love is shared gently, when touch is offered with tenderness, we don't just survive, we bloom. Even now, especially now. Number 4, frequency of sex. Is there an ideal number? Now let's get to the question that's likely been lingering in the back of your mind. How often is enough? Is there a magic number? A schedule to follow? The honest answer is, not exactly. Because intimacy, especially as we age, isn't about checking off boxes. It's about connection, comfort, and joy. What matters more than how often you're intimate is how you feel during and after it. That said, research does offer a few thoughtful insights. One study from the National Library of Medicine found that older adults who engaged in sexual activity about once a week reported greater happiness and higher relationship satisfaction. But here's the beautiful twist. Those who had sex less often also reported feeling deeply fulfilled, both emotionally and physically. You see, there's no golden rule here. Some couples find magic in quiet, spontaneous moments of affection. Others thrive on a more regular rhythm of intimacy. It's not about numbers, it's about what nurtures your bond. For many, sex later in life shifts away from performance and moves toward presence. The pressure to impress fades, and in its place comes something softer, more meaningful. Touch that speaks, silence that comforts, and closeness that says, "You're still my person." So whether it's once a week, once a month, or whenever the mood gently rises, what matters most is that you feel connected, desired, and alive. This stage of life isn't about following a script. It's about writing your own together. Number 5, impact of health and aging on sex. Let's be honest, our bodies change as we grow older. There are days when joints ache, energy dips, and even simple movements feel slower than they used to. It's natural. And yes, these shifts can influence how often or how easily we engage in intimacy. But here's the truth that deserves to be heard. Aging doesn't end desire. It simply invites us to rediscover it differently. Moderate sexual activity, in fact, can become a quiet ally in aging well. It promotes circulation, keeps the body more flexible, and gently lifts energy. And if health concerns arise, be it arthritis, heart conditions, or medications that alter libido, these don't have to be barriers. A thoughtful conversation with your doctor can open doors to new understanding, safer approaches, or simple adjustments that allow you to stay connected in ways that still feel good. There's no need to compare your experience to anyone else's. Whether intimacy happens once a month or in soft, spontaneous gestures of closeness, what matters is that it nurtures you. This isn't about chasing a standard. It's about listening to your body, honoring your relationship, and allowing joy to lead the way. Sometimes the most powerful moments come not from performance, but from presence. A hand held longer than usual, a kiss before sleep, a whispered "I still love you" in the quiet dark. These moments matter. They are intimacy too. And they remind us, even as the body changes, the heart still knows how to love and be loved in full. Number 6, overcoming physical and emotional barriers. For many older adults, the biggest challenge to intimacy isn't desire, it's navigating the body's changing landscape. Conditions like arthritis, joint pain, or reduced flexibility can make physical closeness feel more complicated than it used to. But here's the hopeful truth. These challenges don't mean intimacy has to end. They just invite a gentler, more thoughtful approach. Comfort becomes key. Try positions that ease pressure on the body, such as lying side by side or sitting together in a supported space. A few soft pillows, a change in angle, or even simply slowing things down can transform discomfort into connection. And if dryness is affecting pleasure, especially for women, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Lubricants or vaginal moisturizers, readily available and doctor recommended, can restore comfort and confidence. But intimacy isn't only about the body. Our emotions travel with us, and aging can bring self-consciousness, insecurity, or hesitation. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and questioned whether you're still desirable. Maybe you've wondered if your partner sees you the same way. These thoughts are more common than you think, and they don't have to hold you back. Talk, truly talk. Open up about what's changed, what you miss, and what you still long for. You might be surprised to find that your partner feels the same, just waiting for the right moment to say it. Vulnerability can deepen closeness in ways that youth never quite taught us. Life brings stress, caregiving, and quiet grief, but it also brings the gift of choosing connection in spite of it all. Remember this, you are still worthy of desire, of closeness, of pleasure. And when you let go of expectations and embrace what feels right for you, intimacy becomes something richer than before. It becomes real. Number 7, the power of emotional intimacy. Let's take a moment to shift the spotlight away from the physical side of intimacy and towards something even more powerful, the emotional connection that makes it all deeply meaningful. In our younger years, intimacy often danced with excitement, attraction, and spontaneity. But with time comes something far richer, a kind of closeness that no longer needs to prove anything. Emotional intimacy becomes the quiet strength behind every touch, every glance, every moment shared between two people who have lived, loved, and chosen to keep showing up for each other. At this stage in life, sex isn't just about pleasure, it's about feeling safe, seen, and cherished. It's a language of trust, of shared history, of knowing each other not only in the body, but in the heart. And that knowing, that emotional anchor, is what transforms intimacy into something sacred. You're not performing, you're simply being together. Emotional intimacy becomes even more important as life changes. Maybe your health isn't what it once was. Maybe you've lost friends or family. Maybe the pace of life has slowed, but your need for love and connection has not. In fact, it may have deepened. In those moments of vulnerability, emotional closeness becomes a kind of medicine, healing loneliness, reaffirming your worth, and filling your days with meaning. Holding hands, a forehead kiss, sitting quietly together in a sunlit room. These aren't small things. They're the foundation of something lasting. And even when physical intimacy shifts because of age, health, or energy, these gestures keep love alive. Many older couples report that their emotional connection during intimacy is stronger than ever. They're no longer chasing perfection. They're embracing presence. And that shift from how do I look to how do I feel with you creates an intimacy that's deeply nourishing. Let's also talk about something every soul longs for, the feeling of being desired. We all want to know we're still wanted, still loved, still appreciated. That longing doesn't vanish with the passing years. It simply evolves. And even small acts of affection, like a long hug, a kiss on the cheek, a whispered "I love you," can awaken a sense of being treasured. Studies confirm that couples who maintain affection through touch, cuddling, and loving gestures report greater emotional satisfaction and stronger long-term bonds. And remember, intimacy doesn't have to look like it once did. For some, sex remains a beautiful part of their relationship. For others, it's replaced by cuddling under the covers, slow dancing in the kitchen, or sharing a deep conversation before sleep. What matters most is not the form intimacy takes, but the feeling it brings: connection, closeness, and joy. So let go of the old rules. Create new ones that reflect your rhythm, your needs, your story. Emotional intimacy, in all its forms, is one of life's great gifts. And no matter your age, you deserve to feel desired, seen, and loved, because the heart never grows too old to feel full. Number 8, embracing intimacy in later life. So here we are, after exploring the benefits, the challenges, the science, and the heart behind it all, we've arrived at the most important message of this journey. Intimacy in later life is not only possible, it's something to be celebrated. Too often, aging is portrayed as a closing chapter in one's sensual and emotional life. But the truth? This can be one of the most liberating, fulfilling, and authentic times for intimacy. You're no longer performing for expectations or chasing unrealistic ideals. You're discovering, maybe for the first time, what it feels like to be close without pressure, to love and be loved without comparison, to connect for the sake of connection alone. This is your time, your body, your rhythm. And no one else gets to define what intimacy should look like for you. As we age, the meaning of intimacy changes. It softens, deepens, and expands. It's no longer about frequency or perfection. It's about presence, about holding each other through the quiet moments, about reaching for one another not because you should, but because it brings peace, joy, and a feeling of being truly seen. That's why communication becomes more important than ever. You don't need to pretend or meet some invisible standard. If something feels good, say it. If it doesn't, share that too. When both partners feel heard, understood, and respected, intimacy flows more freely and often more meaningfully. It becomes less about the act and more about the experience. And that experience, rooted in honesty and love, is what leaves the deepest imprint. Let's also talk about the changes, because they will come. The body might move differently. Energy may rise and fall. And yes, there may be days when desire flickers instead of flames. That's okay. It doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're human and beautifully evolving. And there's good news here. Many older adults say they've never felt more satisfied in their intimate lives than they do now. Why? Because the pressure is gone. What's left is the freedom to explore on your own terms. The comfort of knowing your partner, the ease that comes from years of shared laughter, loss, triumph, and tenderness. Taking care of your body and mind plays a big part in keeping intimacy alive. Gentle movement, like swimming or walking, can keep your joints limber and your energy steady. Yoga or stretching can help you feel more comfortable and confident. A balanced diet, rich in nutrients, not rules, supports hormonal balance and blood flow, both of which are key to sexual health. But even beyond the physical, mental, and emotional wellness are essential. Stress, shame, and self-doubt are intimacy's quiet thieves. Practicing mindfulness, self-kindness, and moments of stillness with your partner can invite a deeper kind of closeness, one rooted in acceptance and emotional safety. And let's not forget the simple power of affection: a lingering kiss, a slow hug, fingers brushing as you pass each other in the hallway. These aren't small gestures, they're lifelines to connection. Even if traditional sex becomes less frequent or no longer part of your relationship, the intimacy remains. And sometimes it's even stronger. So how often should older people be having sex? The truth is, there's no magic number. Science gives us trends, but your heart will always be the better guide. Once a week, once a month. Only when the moment feels right. It's all valid as long as it's shared with care, warmth, and mutual respect. What matters most is this: that you and your partner feel connected, valued, and alive in each other's presence. That you're not trying to keep up, you're choosing to show up. That you've let go of the noise and embraced what intimacy truly means at this beautiful stage of life. So if you take anything away from this conversation, let it be this: you are not too old to be desired. You are not too late to feel pleasure, and you are absolutely never beyond the reach of love, touch, and connection. Keep the spark alive, not because the world says you should, but because your heart still stirs and you deserve to feel close, seen, and cherished. That kind of intimacy, it doesn't fade with time, it only grows deeper. Before you go, I'd love to know, how do you feel about intimacy in this chapter of life? Share your thoughts with just a few words in the comments, perhaps something as simple as "still matters" or "feeling connected." If today's conversation resonated with you, take a moment to like this video and gently tap subscribe. It's a small gesture, but it helps us keep creating content that speaks to the heart of aging with grace, connection, and confidence. And if you'd like more uplifting reflections like this delivered to your inbox, feel free to join our growing circle of timeless wisdom seekers. Remember, there's no age limit on love, on touch, or on feeling deeply alive. Every moment you choose connection, whether emotional or physical, you're honoring the beautiful truth that intimacy only grows richer with time. Stay curious, stay open, and I'll see you in the next video with more heartfelt insights just for you.